Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, my grade 10 students. We are now on to week 2 of our quarter 1. And this is me again, your mom Shei, to help you learn about the nature of the roots of the quadratic equations. And now, put together your module, your weekly home learning plan, your paper and pen, as we are about to begin our lesson for today. Tara! Halina at tayo ay matuto! Halina't matuto! For our most essential learning competency for this week, first, we have to characterize the roots of the quadratic equation using the discriminant. And second is to describe the relationship between the coefficients and the roots of a quadratic equation.
Since the beginning, we have encountered different kinds of numbers. And as we get older, we are realizing that they are of different classifications. So this is the real number system. In real number system, we have these numbers which are real and those numbers which are not. Real numbers are all numbers except imaginary numbers. So meaning to say, those imaginary numbers are those numbers which are not real. So what is imaginary number? Okay, these are imaginary numbers or square root of a negative and 0. Okay, and the rest are all real. Real numbers includes irrational numbers and rational numbers. When we say irrational numbers, these are numbers with an infinite number of decimals that never repeat, just like the pi, or the value of pi, which is 3.14, 15, and so on and so forth. These numbers never repeat. And also square root of 2. The rest of the numbers are called rational numbers. Rational numbers are of different kinds. We have what we call the integers. These are whole rational numbers without decimals. Just like the negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Sabihin, these are the negative and the positive numbers including the 0 or lahat na makikita natin under the number line. Another kind which is a part of integers is the whole number. Whole numbers are all positive numbers with decimals. Just like 0, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all positive numbers with no decimal numbers. Okay? While we have also natural numbers. Natural numbers are all positive whole numbers above and including 1. Just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Or these are also called counting numbers. Okay? This is the real number system. For your learning task number 1 on page 13 of your module, you have to complete the table given below and find the relations among constants A, B, and C in the quadratic equation in standard form. So we have there 5 equations and you have to find the values of the real numbers A, B, and C, as well as the value of b squared minus 4ac. And then also look for the roots, which are the x sub 1 and the x sub 2. Here you are going to apply what you have learned in solving quadratic equation. Here in this task, you will discover that the roots of the quadratic equation can be imaginary number, equal, or two distinct roots. And it can be determined by the value of b squared minus 4ac? Let's find it out. Let us start with our equation number 1. The given is x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, our task is to complete the table given below and find the relations among constant a, b, and c in the quadratic equation in standard form. So let us find first the value of the real numbers a, b, and c. And again, as we recall, the value of a is the numerical coefficient of our quadratic term. And that is, okay, that's it. Very good. That is 1. How about b? Okay, b is the numerical coefficient of our linear term. Our linear term is positive 4x. So the numerical coefficient is 4. So therefore, b is equal to 4. How about c? Okay, c is always the constant term, and the constant term is positive 3. After getting the values of a, b, and c, we are also asked to find the value of b squared minus 4ac. Is it familiar to you? Yes, if you notice, you can see it in our quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is equal to x is equal to negative b positive negative square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So if you notice, b squared minus 4ac can be seen inside the radical symbol. Okay? Now, let us find the value of b squared minus 4ac. So how are we going to do that? We're going to substitute the values of a, b, and c to our formula b squared minus 4ac. What is the value of b? Okay, 4. So instead of writing b, we will write 4. That is 4 squared. Okay? Minus, we have 4. Kopyahin, and then the value of a. The value of a is 1, so we have to multiply it by 4. And by c. The value of c is 3. So we have 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 3. And then we just need to simplify it. Let us start with 4 squared. 4 squared means 4 to the power of 2 or raised to the power of 2. Meaning it is 4 times 4. Or, imumultiply ng 2 beses sa kanyang sarili. Okay, so that is the purpose of our exponent. Since 2 times. Okay? So, this doesn't mean na 4 times 2. Okay? Huwag kayong malilito. Ang 4 squared means 4 times 4. So, 4 times 4 is equal to 16. Minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4 times 3. And then, isi-simplify pa natin si 4 times 3. So, kopyahin lang na muna natin si 16 minus, what is 4 times 3? Okay, that's it. We have 12. Now, 16 minus 12 is, very good. So, that is 4. So, meaning to say, the value of b squared minus 4ac when simplified is equal to 4. So, yun yung ilalagay natin dito sa table. Okay? Now, we are also asked to find the roots or the x sub 1 or the x sub 2. So, paano nga natin ito kinukuha? How do we get the roots or the solutions of the quadratic equation? Very good. So, that is by using the different methods. Yung pinag-aralan natin in solving quadratic equations. And these are extracting square roots, through factoring, through completing the square, or by the use of the quadratic formula. So, kahit alin doon ang pwede nyo gamitin kung saan kayo nadadalian. And since alam naman natin na ang value ni b squared minus 4ac, ito yun, yung nasa loob ng quadratic formula, why not use the quadratic formula? If we're going to use the quadratic formula, so substitute lamang natin yung values ni A, B, C dito sa ating formula. So what is x is equal to, what is negative? Okay, kopyahin si negative and then the value of B, which is 4. So we have negative 4. Positive, negative. What is the square root of B squared minus 4AC? Since alam na natin ang value ni B squared minus 4AC, which is 4. Ito yon 4. So, simply, it is square root of 4. Did you get it? Okay, hindi na natin kailangan kopyahin pa yung ABC dito kasi may value na tayo. Nakuha na natin siya dito. So, that is square root of 4 all over 2 times. What is the value of A? Okay, we have 1. So, 2 times 1. Now, simplify natin. That is negative times positive 4. That is negative 4. Positive, negative. What is the square root of 4? Okay, that's it. We have 2. All over 2 times 1, we have 2. Now, isimplify lamang natin. Since negative 4, positive, negative 2, all over 2, meron tayong positive, negative dito. It means we can form 2 linear equations. Ang unang x sub 1 is the positive 1 or negative 4 plus 2 all over 2 while the other one is ang x sub 2 natin ay negative 4 minus 2 naman. Yung isa ay positive, yung isa ay negative. Okay? Now, let us start with x sub 1. So, negative 4 plus 2 we have. Very good. So, that is negative 2 all over 2. And negative 2 divided by 2 is equal to negative 1. So, therefore, that is the value of our x sub 1. So, pwede na natin siyang ilagay dito sa ating table. X sub 1 is negative 1. How about x sub 2? So, negative 4 minus 2, that is negative 6. Correct. Now, all over 2. Now, simplify natin. Negative 6 divided by 2, that is negative 3. So, therefore, the value of x sub 2 is negative 3. Did you get it? Okay, so ganyan lang po ang gagawin natin to the remaining numbers. That is how we complete the given table. Okay? In our item number 2, the given is x squared minus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. This time, let us start getting or finding the values of a, b, and c. For the value of a, this numerical coefficient of quadratic term, which is, okay, that's great. That is 1. How about b? Okay, that is the numerical coefficient of our linear term, and that is negative 5. Please don't forget that the negative sign, okay? And the constant term or the value of c is equal to the positive 4. After getting the values of a, b, and c, let us find the value of b squared minus 4ac. So here, we will use again this formula. B squared minus 4ac, let us substitute the value. B is, okay, we have negative 5. So we have negative 5 squared minus 4 times, what is a? Okay, that is 1. So 4 times 1 times c, which is positive 4. So we have negative 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4. Next is simplify. Negative 5 squared means negative 5 times negative 5. So, that is equal to positive 25. Minus 4 times 1, we have 4. And then, meron pa tayo dung ita-times na positive 4. Simplify muna natin to. We have 25 minus what is 4 times 4? Correct. That is 16. Now, simplifying 25 minus 16, that is equal to positive 9. So here, the value of b squared minus 4ac, therefore, is equal to 9. Since we already know the value of the b squared minus 4ac, let us proceed in finding for the roots. Finding for the roots, let us use the quadratic formula. So let us just substitute the value. We have negative, x is equal to negative b. So we have, kopyahin natin yung negative and then saka yung value ng b. Ang value ng b is equal to negative 5. So we have negative times negative 5. Did you get it? Yung negative po ay sadya na siyang andyan dyan. So hindi siya pwedeng mawala. And then positive, negative. What is the square root of b squared? Since we already know the value of b squared minus 4ac, which is 9, piyahin na lang natin dito. So we have the square root of 9. All over 2 times a is 1. Okay? Now simplify natin. What is negative times negative 5? Okay, correct. That is positive 5. Positive, negative. How about the square root of 9? Okay, we have 3. And then 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Now, let us form two linear equations. Paghiwalayin natin ang positive and negative since this is 5, positive, negative 3 all over 2. Ang x sub 1 natin would be 5 plus 3 over 2 all over 2. And then the x sub 2 will be 5 minus 3 all over 2. Pinaghiwalay lang po natin ito. Now, we have 5 plus 3. We have 8 divided by 2, and that is 4. Therefore, x sub 1 is equal to positive 4. Now, for the x sub 2, 5 minus 3 we have, we have positive 2. All over, we have 2. 2 divided by 2, alright, we have positive 1. So, therefore, x sub 2 is equal to positive 1. Let us now proceed with our equation number 3. The given is x squared minus 49 is equal to 0. Now, let us find the value of a. The real number a we have, that is 1. How about the value of b? Do we have the linear term? Okay, we don't have. So, meaning to say, b is equal to 0. How about the c or the constant term? Okay, we have negative 49. Now, let us find again the value of b squared minus 4ac. So that is, let us substitute the values. B is equal to 0 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 49. Simplifying, 0 squared is 0. 4 times 1, we have 4 times negative 49. So, 0 negative times negative is positive. Kaya po naging plus to. Then 4 times 49, we have 196. And 0 plus 196, that is equal to 196. So therefore, the value of b squared minus 4ac is equal to 196. Now let us find the roots. Again, apply the quadratic formula. So we have negative, so 0, positive, negative is square root of, what is b squared minus 4ac? So that is 196. So we have 196 all over 2 times 1. Now we have 0 na to, Then positive again, take note that 0 doesn't have, or 0 is neither a negative nor positive. Okay? So we have 0, positive, negative is square root of, what is 196? So class, 196 is a perfect square number. And that number, when you multiply it to itself, will result to 196, and that is 14. 14 times 14 is equal to 196. So, ang square root ng 196 is 14. And then all over, 2 times 1 is 2. Now, let us form again two linear equations. Ang isa ay positive, ang isa ay negative. So, that is 0 plus 14 divided by 2. Another one is 0 minus 14 divided by 2. 0 plus 14, we have 14 divided by 2, and that is 7. 0 minus 14, that is the value of x sub 1. Now, 0 minus 14, we have negative 14 divided by 2, and that is negative 7. So, the value of x sub 2 is equal to negative 7. So, that's it for our item number 3. In our number 4, the given is 4x squared minus 25 is equal to 0. Again, just the same procedure as number 1, 2, and 3. So, let us find the values of A, B, C. A is 4, B is 0. Again, kasi wala yung linear term. and c is equal to negative 25. Now, for the value of b squared minus 4ac, let us substitute it. The value of b, we have 0. 0 squared minus 4 times. Okay, this time a is 4, c is negative 25. Now, simplify 0 minus 4 times 4. We have, okay, correct. That is 4 times 4 is positive 16. So, times negative 25. Now, okay, continue muna natin yung multiplication. Negative 16 times negative 25, that is positive 400. Bakit po naging positive? Negative times negative is positive. Now, 0 plus 400 is equal to 400. That's the reason why b squared minus 4ac is equal to 400. And for the roots, again, let us use the quadratic formula. So, we have negative 0, positive negative square root of 400 all over 2 times 4. So, we have 0, positive, negative. Ang square root po ng 400 is 20. Correct. That is 2 times 4 is 8. Now, form linear equations. We have 0 plus 20. We have, and also 0 minus 20 all over 8. 0 plus 20 is 20 over 8. 20 over 8, can we divide it exactly? Okay, no. So, ang answer natin is fraction. Just make it in lowest term. So, that is 5 over 2. Bakit po naging 5 over 2? We divided both side by their, okay, GCF. And that is divide both side by what? Okay, correct. That is by 4. So, 20 divided by 4 is 5. And 8 divided by 4, that is, okay, that is 2. So, ganyan po pag-simplify, okay? So, that is 5 over 2. Now, for that 0 minus 20, we have, that is x sub 1, 5 over 2. 0 minus 20 is negative 20 over 8. So, again, ganun din yan. Negative lang ito. So, divided both side by 4, and that is negative 5 over 2. So, our x sub 2 is 5 over 2. And for our last item in our learning task number 1, we have 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, the value of a is 2. The value of b is positive 7. And the value of c is positive 3. And b squared minus 4ac, we have, alright, so negative b is equal to 7 squared minus 4 times. A is 2 times 3 is C. Okay, now 7 squared, we have 7 times 7, and that is 49. Minus 4 times 2, we have 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is equal to 24. And 49 minus 24, we have 25. So the value of b squared minus 4ac is 25. For the roots, let us apply again the quadratic formula. So we have negative 7, positive negative square root of 25, all over 2 times 2. Now, negative times 7 is negative 7. Positive negative square root 25 is 5. All over 2 times 2 is 4. And now, for the two linear terms, our linear equations, x sub 1 is negative 7 plus 5 all over 4. X sub 2 is negative 7 minus 5 all over 4. So, we have negative 7 plus 5 is negative 2 all over 4. And that is, when simplified, divided by both sides by 2. So, we have negative 1 half. So, x sub 1 is equal to negative 1 half. And x sub 2, negative 7 minus 5 is negative 12 all over 4. Negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. So, our x sub 2 is equal to negative 3. So, maybe you are curious on the purpose of the value of b squared minus 4ac in our previous activity. So, class, that is what we call the discriminant. So, what is this discriminant? This expression b squared minus 4ac is the quadratic equation's discriminant. And it determines the nature of the roots of the quadratic equation. So, what do we mean by nature of the roots? Ibig sabihin, nature, or how are we going to describe the roots? What kind of roots are we going to obtain after finding after solving the given quadratic equation? So, di ba, as we have learned earlier, we have different kinds of numbers. So we can have real or not real, rational, irrational, and different kinds, just like integers, whole numbers, natural numbers, okay, and so on and so forth. So those are the kinds of numbers. And the roots that we have obtained in solving quadratic equations also differ. And that is, we can determine the nature or what kind of roots are we going to obtain through the discriminant, or just finding the value of b squared minus 4ac even without actually solving for the roots. Meaning to say, kahit hindi pa natin nasosolve yung x sub 1 at si x sub 2 or yung roots ng quadratic equation, we can already determine the nature of the roots or the kind of roots that we will obtain by just having the discriminant. Now, let's say here, if we have obtained a discriminant or the value of b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, kapag daw ang value nung nakuha natin na discriminant is equal to 0, then meaning to say, the roots are real and equal. What do we mean by equal? Diba we can, in solving quadratic equation, diba we can have at least two equations or two roots or solutions. Okay, so we can have, kapag daw 0 yung value ng discriminant natin, we can have equal roots. Ibig sabihin, parehas lamang yung roots. If our x sub 1 is negative 1, therefore, yung x sub 2 natin is also equal to negative 1. Okay? So that is the meaning of equal roots. And it is a real numbers. Again, I will recall, real numbers are all rational numbers, integers, whole numbers, natural numbers, and so on. Ang hindi lamang po real numbers are those imaginary numbers o yung square root ng negative number or ng 0. Okay? Now, if b squared minus 4ac or the discriminant naman daw is greater than 0, mas malaki kay 0, therefore, the roots or yung, you can have two classification. If it is greater than 0 and it is a perfect square number, ano-ano ba yung mga perfect square number? We can have 1, we can have 4, 9, 25, 16, 36, 49, 81, 100, 121, 169, and so on and so forth. Those are perfect square number. Paano ba natin nalalaman yon? If there is a number that when multiplied to itself will result to that given number or to that value, meaning it is a perfect square number. Okay? Kagaya ng 4, that is 2 times 2. So, ang 4, perfect square. Okay? Ang 25 is also a perfect square since ang 5 times 5 is 25. Ganun po yung malalaman. If ever that the discriminant is a perfect square number, then ang roots natin will be real, rational, and unequal. It is a rational number and the two roots are unequal. Ibig sabihin, magkaiba yung value ng ating x sub 1 at x sub 2. How about if we get a not perfect square? If the number that is greater, if the discriminant that is greater than 0 is not a perfect square, therefore, our roots will be real, irrational, and unequal. Ano po ba yung mga irrational numbers? Those numbers that never repeat, okay? Or yung mga value ng pi, okay? So, those are irrational numbers. Kalimitan, ito yung mga nasa loob ng square roots. Ano? Now, so those are the nature of the roots of the non-perfect square numbers. But how about if our discriminant is less than 0? Ano-ano ba yung mga less than 0? Those are negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and so on and so forth. Or those numbers na negative numbers. If ang ating discriminant po is negative number, then therefore the roots are not real. Okay? So these are the nature of the roots that we can obtain, okay, by having the discriminant. Okay? So kahit hindi na natin isolve yung x sub 1 at x sub 2, kaya na po nating malaman kung ano bang uri or nature ng roots ng ating quadratic equation by just using the discriminant. Let us now apply what we have learned about discriminant and the nature of the roots. Now, in this illustrative examples, let us have this. Find the nature of the roots of the equation x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, first is, to find the nature of the roots of this equation, we must find the discriminant. The discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Now, let us have first the real numbers. We have a is equal to 1, b is equal to positive 4, and c is equal to positive 3. These are the numerical coefficient of this equation. Now, let us substitute it to the formula of the discriminant. Discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. b is equal to 4, so we have 4 squared minus 4 times a is 1 and c is positive 3. Now simplifying, 4 squared is equal to 16 as 4 times 4 minus 4 times 1 is 4 times 3. And 4 times 3 is equal to 12. 16 minus 12 is equal to positive 4. Therefore, the discriminant is equal to 4. Here, if the discriminant is equal to 4, then based on what we have learned, 4 is greater than 0, right? Mas malaki siya sa 0, so dito siya magpo-fall. And it's a perfect or non-perfect square. Very good. That is a perfect square number. Since this is a perfect square number, how will you determine the nature of the roots? Very good. The nature of the roots of this equation, x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0, are real, rational, and unequal roots. Ito po yun. Real, rational, and unequal roots. So, 2 real numbers yan kasi unequal roots meron tayo. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong x sub 1 and x sub 2. So, ma'am, tama po kaya na even without solving for the roots, ay kaya na nating ma-determine na ang ating roots will be 2 real numbers, 2 rational numbers. Okay, let us check. Now, in the given x squared plus 4x plus 3, hanapin natin nga ang roots gamit yung factoring. So, we can factor it as x plus 3 times x plus 1 equals 0. So, we have the first equation will be x plus 3 is equal to 0. X plus 1 equals to 0 is the other one. So, x is equal to 0 minus 3. X sub 1 is negative 3. Here naman is negative 0 minus 1 and that is negative 1. So, negative 3 and negative 1, they are 2 real numbers and they are both rational numbers and they are unequal roots. So, meaning to say, the nature of the roots, even we only have the discriminant, ay correct. Okay? Let us now proceed to our number 2. Determine the nature of the roots of the equation x squared minus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0. Again, hinahanap lang natin is the nature of the roots. So, meaning to say, we don't have to solve it. So, in that case, let's have our find the real numbers. A is equal to 1, B is equal to negative 6, and C is equal to 9. And we have this equal to, or the discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Let us substitute. B is equal to negative 6 squared minus 4 times a is 1 times c, which is 9. Negative 6 times negative 6 or negative 6 squared is equal to 36. Minus 4 times 1, we have 4, so times 9. Now 36 minus, what is 4 times 9? We have 36. And 36 minus 36 is 0. If the discriminant is 0, therefore, it falls under this. If the discriminant is equal to 0, therefore, the roots are Very good. The roots are real and equal. So, tama po kayo, real and equal. Let us check. So, by the way, class, in your solving, you don't have to necessarily check it kasi pag chinek natin, isosolve natin yung roots para malaman if real and equal nga siya. But since we are only looking for the nature of the roots, ito hanggang dito na lang yung sagot natin. But in this case, check natin for you to know and para ma-prove natin na talagang tama ito. Na even discriminant lang yung kinuha natin, so tama yung nature of the roots natin. So here in the equation, x squared minus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0. By the use of factoring, it is a perfect square trinomial. So x minus 3 quantity squared is equal to 0. So meaning to say, dalawang x minus 3 kasi naka-quantity squared siya. So, x minus 3 is equal to x is equal to 0 plus 3 kasi tinranspose natin to the other side. So, 0 plus 3, that is 3. So, therefore, ang x natin ay 3. Pero, since ito ay 2, sabihin, in-square siya, kaya nga equal, ibig sabihin, parehas lamang yung ating magiging sagot. So, ibig sabihin, meron pa tayo dito x minus 3 na isa pa. And that will result also to x is equal to 3. So, if you notice, they are both real numbers. Ang 3 ay real numbers. And they are equal. So, ibig sabihin, isa lang yung sagot natin dito, which is 3. Okay. Let us have this third example. The question is, what kind of roots does the equation x squared plus 2x plus 3 is equal to 0 have? Now, what kind of roots though? Meaning to say, we are looking for, again, for the nature of the roots of this equation. X squared plus 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, for our solution, let us find the values of A, B, and C. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, and C is equal to 3. So, I guess, hindi na kayo nalilito dito, ha? These are, again, the numerical coefficient of these terms, okay? Now, the discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So, therefore, b is equal to 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times positive 3. 2 squared is equal to 4 minus 4 times 1 is 4 times 3. We have 4 times 3 is equal to 12. And 4 minus 12 is equal to negative 8. So, the discriminant is equal to negative 8. So, since the discriminant is a negative number, that falls under this. If the discriminant is less than 0, it is not real. So, therefore, the nature of the roots of this equation is not real. So, how can we prove na tama po na not real siya? So, if you notice, kapag gumamit tayo ng quadratic formula, di ba yung b squared minus 4ac? That will become, kapag sinubstitute natin, the negative 2, positive negative, square root of, diba, nakuha na natin ang b squared minus 4ac, which is negative 8. At alam naman natin that any number under or the square root of a negative number is not real, diba? Those not real numbers are those imaginary numbers or yung mga square root ng negative numbers and 0. So, therefore, ang square root of negative 8 is an imaginary number. So, that means it is not real. On page 16 of your module, you have there the learning task number 2. So, here, ang direction natin is to complete the table below. So, we have there a given table. Meron tayong 4 na equation. So, the first equation is x squared minus 6x minus 27 is equal to 0. And we are looking for the values of A, B, C, the discriminant, and the nature of the roots. So, I'm going to show you how are we going to do this. Just like what we did, let us find A, B, C. The value of A is 1, the value of B is negative 6, and the value of C is negative 27. In order to get the discriminant, we have to apply the formula b squared minus 4ac. Now, substituting the values, again, so that is negative 6 squared minus 4 times a. What is a? We have 1 times c, which is negative 27. So, negative 6 squared is equal to positive 36 minus 4 times negative 27. Now, simplifying, we have negative 4 times negative 27. Okay, emphasize ko lang ha. Nandito na po tayo. Hindi pa natin pwedeng sabihin yung, or i-perform yung 36 minus 4. Kasi, according to our PEMDAS rule, multiplication must do first. Ano? So, negative 4 muna times negative 27, and that is, okay, correct. That is positive 108. And then, saka pa lang tayo makapag-perform ng addition. So, 36 plus 108 is equal to 144. Our discriminant is equal to 104. So, therefore, dito natin siya ilalagay. Ano? And for the nature of the roots, so, i-recall natin yung nature of the roots. Paano nga to? This is, the discriminant is greater than 0. And 144, is it a perfect or non-perfect square? Correct. So, that is a perfect square number. So, therefore, how will you describe the nature of the roots? The roots are real, rational, and unequal. So, therefore, yan po yung nature of the roots. So, yun yung ilalagay natin sa ating table. Okay, did you understand? Okay, so, please do the remaining equations, yung ating second, third, and fourth equation. So, give it a try on your paper. Good luck! This is your equation number 2. The given is x squared minus 25 is equal to 0. The values of a, b, and c. A is 1, b is, do we have linear term? No. So, therefore, b is equal to 0 and c is equal to negative 25. So, in order to get the discriminant, let us apply again the formula b squared minus 4ac. Okay, let us substitute the values. B is equal to 0, 0 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 25. Let us perform the operation. 0 squared is 0. Minus 4 times 1 is 4 times negative 25. And negative 4 times negative 25 is positive 100. So, therefore, the discriminant is 100. So, lagay natin doon ang discriminant. So, what is the nature of the roots if the discriminant is 100? So, saan siya nagpo-fall? Very good. Greater than 0 and a perfect square again. So, the nature of the roots are real, rational, and unequal. So, you have to put it in on the table. Our third example, we have x squared plus 10x plus 25 is equal to 0. Find the values of a, b, c. A is 1, b is 10, ayan, and 10, and c is 25. And the discriminant is equal to, okay, let us substitute. So, b is equal to 10. So, we have 10 squared minus 4 times. What is a? We have 1. What is c? We have 25. Performing the operation, 10 squared means 10 times 10. So, that is 100 minus 4 times 25. What is 4 times 25? Very good. So, that is 100. So, 100 minus 100, that is 0. If the discriminant is 0, therefore, the nature of the roots are very good. Ayan o, nakalagay. If b squared minus 4 is equal to 0, therefore, the roots are real and equal. So, that is the nature of the roots. Okay? For our last item, we have 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. The value of a is 2. The value of b is negative 5. And the value of c is positive 3. The discriminant, let us substitute. B is negative 5, so we have negative 5 squared. Minus 4 times, A is 2, C is 3, so we have 4 times 2 times 3. Negative 5 squared is 25. Minus 4 times 2, we have 8 times 3. 25, 8 times 3 is equal to 24. So, 25 by 24, that is 1. The discriminant is equal to 1. Okay? If the discriminant is equal to 1, therefore, the nature of the roots is correct. So, that is, ayan, perfect square ulit siya. So, real, rational, and unequal. So, that is the nature of the roots. And for your learning task number 3 on page 17, characterize the roots of the following quadratic equations using the discriminant. So, what are we going to do? You have there 5 equations. You just need to apply what we have learned in our previous activities. So you will get the values of the real numbers in order to solve for the discriminant. And after finding the discriminant, you have to characterize the roots, meaning you have to find the nature of the roots. Okay?
So thank you so much, my dear students, for being with me in this session. I hope you learned a lot. Again, this is me, your mom, Shei, your guide in learning Mathematics 9 during the modular distance learning. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.